What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Next Gen Pod. It's your host, Ani Mana, with Joe Tipton and Jamie Shaw of On Three Rivals. Uh, Jordan Smith, the five-star recruit, he is committed to Arkansas and Coach John Calipari. This is their third commitment in the 226 class with J.J. Andrews and Abdu Torre. This is a big pickup for Coach Cal and for Arkansas. I mean, Jordan Smith, a fantastic player. But Joe, give us the rundown. Jordan has been he wanted to take his time on when he was going to commit. He decided now, but what led to him deciding today to commit, and why Arkansas?
Yeah, I think even dating back to right around Peach Jam in July, I had always had the impression that it was going to come down to Duke or Arkansas. I think that was all like there was, rumors about other schools, maybe it's closer to home, but I think like Syracuse, Georgetown had both struggled this season. And Duke and Arkansas had kind of separated themselves. And like we've talked about on the show in the past, is when Duke took Deron Rippey Jr., I think Smith started questioning his role, a little bit more with the Blue Devils. So I think that just made it a little bit of an easier decision for Smith to go to Arkansas. And I think just the reason he chose Arkansas, just the overall success that John Calipari has had with guards. I mean, there's no denying it. He's had more success than anyone else. You just look at, he references it all the time, all the NBA contracts and all the NBA stars that he has in the league. It almost feels like a no-brainer in a lot of ways. But I think this recruitment would have been a little bit more interesting had Rippey chosen, a school like NC State. Jordan Smith could he have went to Duke or a school like that? I think that they would have been a little bit of a closer recruitment there. But obviously a big commitment for Coach Cal. He's even in this portal era, he's tended to prioritize the freshman where he's most comfortable, and he still had that top level of success recruiting those guys. And I feel like it's almost like clockwork for Cal when he recruits these guys. Like, I bet the sell is pretty similar. It's just like, hey man, do you want to go to the NBA? He already knows the answer. Yes sir, I do. Okay, well, you know how many NBA players I've got? You know how much money they've generated? And then just ring off a few guys, and they're obviously familiar with most of the players that went to go play for John Calipari. Obviously, majority of them, when he was at his time at Kentucky. But I think Smith is just a believer in that, and being able to go to Arkansas and then move on, to the NBA.
Jamie, give a breakdown what Razorback fans are going to get with Jordan Smith, and just what potential impact he can make as a freshman.
What a huge step Jordan Smith has taken over this past year. He's somebody that's always been on the radar, even coming up into his freshman year. He was on those stacked all the six teams, and he was playing a complementary role. You saw somebody who could supplement guys, be a connective guy off the ball playing on offense, and guard multiple positions on the defensive end of the floor. He always brought a tenacity and a fire, but he also brought winning ways with him. He brought somebody who elevated the floor of his teammates because he was able to do, and he wanted to do, the dirty work, the stuff that guys just don't like to do. He had no problem doing that even from an early age. Fast forward, he's been with USA Basketball for 2 gold medals in FIBA events. Now all of a sudden he has taken the primary role. He's not playing off of anybody anymore. Now he's taking on the primary role. He's at the top of every scouting report, and he is producing in a major way for this Paul the 16 this year. Going across the country, winning MVPs of games like Hoop Hall, MVPs of City of Palms type events, and all these type of games that he's winning all over the country at the highest of levels of what they're doing. And Jordan Smith is the central figure of that. He's the guy that has the ball in his hand. He's the guy that's creating advantages, and he's the guy that is knocking down the mid-range jump shots, getting to the rim, and still using that patented defense. The 6'2" with the 6'9" wingspan, able to slide his feet. He's able to turn his guy in the backcourt multiple times, slide and get in the passing lane. He's aggressive. He anticipates. He's got all of that stuff that you bring on the defensive end of the floor. Now he's able to consistently perform on the offensive end. What is he long-term offensively? It'll be interesting to see how the three-point shot develops, how he's able to play off the ball and being able to score off the ball, or how the reads continue to develop. Once the second defender comes into play on the offensive end, the game speeds up a little bit too. Is he still able to make those passes and make those reads and do all that type of stuff? Right now, he's kind of a combo guard. You think in the lineage of a Cason Wallace type of guy, kind of in that archetype as to top end outcome right now, but there's also some variance that comes into with some wider margins as to what he could be. Again, at the highest level, with the confidence that he's growing into playing on the ball. But again, like Joe said, huge win for John Calipari here. Still showing. I remember a couple years ago I asked college coaches during the live period, who's the most feared guy you see on the trail, almost to a T. Calipari. When Calipari jumps in and all this type of stuff, NIL has kind of varied things a little bit, but what we're seeing here, bringing in Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff last year, now winning a Jordan Smith battle that Duke was still actively recruiting, and winning that battle for Jordan Smith. Calipari showing he still got it.
Yeah, no, he still do got it. And Jordan Smith, to your point, like how he's improved his offensive game. We know about how much havoc he brings on the defense and how much rim pressure he provides. That Paul VI team is 24-2 this season, having a fantastic year. To your point, Jamie and Joe, like he has really led the charge into those. I think the swing skills obviously going to be the 3-point shooting, just continue to build onto the shot creating, and I think there's some real interesting like offensive upside to him. Like I think we talked about in our last episode about guys like hitting another tier or hitting another gear during their college freshman seasons, and I think we'll see that with Jordan Smith. When he gets into college, so it's a really big pickup. Arkansas is ranked 3rd in your team recruiting rankings. Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong. If they aren't, where are they now with the addition of Jordan Smith?
You'd have to think Jordan Smith's a 5-star plus player. It's only going to pop up. We can't do that ahead of time. We don't have the tools to be able to look at it ahead of time. But looking at this 3-man class to what they bring, JJ Andrews, who was the MVP of Peach Jam. You have Abdou Toure, who's had one of the best high school seasons his senior year, growing into a 2-way type player. And the exact same with Jordan Smith, the other guy who's had one of the best high school senior seasons. This year they're bringing in physicality, they're bringing in athletic pop and burst, and they're bringing in competitiveness. All 3 of those guys bring that to the table. And it's something that it seems that Calipari is really, really prioritized. Guys who compete, guys who want to go out and win, but guys who also defend, guys who take pride on locking their man down on the defensive end, who have stepped into their own offensive uniqueness of their game. There's a lot to like with this class that Calipari is bringing in, and whether it be top 3, top 5, number 1 overall, these are guys that are certain to make their feel in Fayetteville, Arkansas, probably sooner rather than later.
Joe, what's your thoughts on what Jamie said about what he'll bring to the table and what that class will bring year one?
Yeah, and just to answer your question, I think Arkansas is going to slide into probably the number 2 ranked recruiting class, right behind Duke, who has 3 5-stars committed. But I think Jordan Smith Jr., I think he's going to be one of the more impactful freshmen that we see in college basketball next year. It's not as good of a freshman class as we're experiencing this year, but I think just the overall tenacity, toughness, physicality, defensive ability that Jordan Smith brings, he is a winning player. Like, he does not lose. Like, he will die trying to win a basketball game, and he will do it by any means necessary. So I think Arkansas fans are going to love him, and I think opposing teams are going to hate playing against him because he's going to wreak havoc against them.
Yeah, no, he absolutely will. Any closing thoughts on Jordan Smith, addition to Arkansas? Any additional information you want the fans to know about?
I'm really impressed with their recruiting class. Obviously, Jamie bumped up Abdou Toure recently, so I think that's going to give Arkansas two 5-stars coming into next season in 2026. And then JJ Andrews, a phenomenal player in his own right as well. So Cal's, like I said, doing what he's always done and continuing to have success with it.
Yeah, Abdou Toure. I mean, and he's getting winners. We talk about Jordan Smith being a winner. JJ Andrews, Peach Jam MVP. Abdou Toure, how he's led his Notre Dame squad, high school, and just how competitive they are and how he's performing. And then Jordan Smith, obviously. So I think he's really getting some winners in this space, and I think that will translate well into college, where at the end of the day, all them coaches want to do, they want to win. Calipari wants another national championship. So I think he has a group of guys that will give him a chance, to get to that point. So that's it, guys. Jordan Smith, 5-star guard, He's committed to Arkansas and Coach John Calipari, their second 5-star commitment in this 2026 class. We'll see you guys at the next episode.